Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Please take your seats. My name is Rachel Goldhammer. I'm a parent at DJDS of two lovely children, one of which is here today, an alum, and I'm honored to be your co-chair. We come together while our brave men and women in Israel fight for us. They fight for our today, and they fight for our tomorrow. At last count, 19 alumni of our school are fighting in the Israeli Defense Forces right now. In honor of all of our soldiers, I'd like to invite DJDS board member, Rabbi Barry Gelman, to lead us in a prayer for the state of Israel and our soldiers.
Good morning. Please rise. Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Tzmichat Gulatenu. Hagen aleha be'avrat chastecha, ufros aleh sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha v'yamitcha l'rasheha, sareha v'yoatzeha, v'takneim be'etzah tova milefanecha. Heavenly Father, Israel's rock and redeemer, bless the state of Israel, the first flowering of our redemption. Shield it under the wing of your loving kindness and spread over it the tabernacle of your peace. Send your light and truth to its leaders, ministers, and counselors, and direct them with good counsel before you. Chazek et idei miginei eretz kodshenu, vanchileim Eloheinu Yeshua ve'ater nitzachon tatreim, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam liyoshveha. Strengthen the hands of the defenders of our holy land. Grant them deliverance, our God, and crown them with the crown of victory. Grant peace in the land and everlasting joy to its inhabitants. V'nomar amen, and let us say amen. Please be seated.
Thank you, Rabbi Gelman. Anachnu am echad belev echad. We are one people with one heart. Now, I'd like to invite Ava, Emma, and Julia, the children of my co-chair, Sarah Rafaeli, and my daughter, Maya Goldhammer, to lead us in Hamotzi. Speak into the mic.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Thanks, cuties. Yeah, you can speak up. That's our future. And thank you for being here today, reinforcing the importance of Jewish education and community in our lives, crucial now more than ever. For over 30 years, Fred Rogers hosted a television program on American TV called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Some of you might have heard of it. In an interview, he once said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers.' You will always find people who are helping. Indeed, we see scary things in the news. And at the same time, if we pause and look around, there are an incredible number of helpers. People organizing supplies, people making donations, people combating fake news on social media, people taking to the streets in support of Israel. We are a community of helpers, and while our hearts are broken and our minds are stunned, we can take great pride in this solidarity and unity. We're experiencing it right now in this community and in Jewish communities around the world. We hold each other up in times of devastation and sadness. We take care of each other. Naftali Bennett, Israel's former prime minister, recently said, "Our superpower is unity." Together, we are all here committed to fostering this unity by ensuring Denver Jewish Day School's vitality. With that in mind, I have a few thank yous to express as we begin today's program. First, my heartfelt gratitude to Sarah Rafaeli, She's my co-chair this year, and she has made invaluable contributions. Your creativity and insight have been remarkable. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who made today happen, including Charlene, our creative aftercare kids, and for creating our beautiful centerpieces. Thank you to our diligent development team, Sam, Krista, Melissa, Pam, Allison, and Matan for your tireless efforts both today and every day in support of our school. Thank you to our board of directors for helping to shape our school's vision. And thank you to our school's leadership, Avi, Alana, and Jeremy, for continuing to maintain a safe harbor for our children despite your personal hardships and sacrifices. We're lucky to have you. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you. Today, we'll hear an update from Avi. We'll hear from Mia Wexler, a brilliant high school senior. And we'll hear from Jeremy, or Dr. GT as the kids know him, our new upper school principal. As Jews, we are unfortunately familiar with setbacks. Yet, we always grow and transform, and we become stronger. And that's what our school continues to do as well. One way that we defeat our enemies is to ensure a bright future for our children and our community. Our survival when our enemies are all defeated, whether it was the Romans, the Nazis, or soon, Hamas, is the ultimate victory. Everyone knows you can't have a thriving Jewish community without a thriving Jewish day school. In every community around the world, Jewish schools are the anchor that holds us together. They both help us to infuse our children with Jewish values and the spirit of Zionism, and they give us a home base to gather and build relationships. We are gathered here today to help ensure that the future of Denver Jewish Day School is strong. Each of us in this room has a responsibility to make that happen, and we will. Am Yisrael Chai. And now, welcome our head of school, Avi Heltel.
Thank you. Boker Tov. There's a familiar phrase in the Talmud that says, Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Bazeh. It means all of Israel is responsible for one another. With all that is going on in the world, and in particular in Israel, my mind continues to turn to this concept of connection. Connection creates support. It creates opportunity. It creates comfort. These past 2 weeks have highlighted what we in the DJDS community, and in fact the Jewish community, have always understood: the importance of fostering connections. Connections to Israel, connections to Jewish values, and most importantly, connections to each other. Through these bonds, we build a stronger community and play a part in healing a world that is so in need of healing. Let me express our unwavering support for the state of Israel and our solidarity with the people of Israel. We pray for Israel at this time. The Denver JDS community and Israel are connected at the heart and at the soul. We have faculty, students, parents, alumni, and supporters who are from Israel, who have lived in Israel, and who today are in Israel. We have alumni who made Aliyah, many of whom have been called up for reserve duty. We all care deeply about Israel. Sadly, we have members of our community with family and friends who were hurt or killed in the barbaric terrorist attacks by Hamas. We have 10th graders and their families thinking about their hip trip to Israel, which was supposed to begin in just 7 weeks. We have 18 years of meaningful and deep relationships between our students and the people of Ramat Negev. Right now, these connections with Israel are more important than ever. The support for our family and friends in Israel lets them know that we are here for them, and that we care deeply about them. And that must continue strongly, not just for the days ahead, but it must continue throughout the months that this war on terror is likely to last. Many of us are making donations. Many of us are helping from afar. All of us have the ability to connect with someone in Israel, to let them know we support them, we care about them, and that we are doing what we can to help them. Following this breakfast, I urge you to connect with someone in Israel that you haven't been in touch with. Let them know that you and the Denver Jewish community, the entire global Jewish community, cares. It takes just a few moments and makes a disproportionate amount of difference. While so much of our attention is rightfully on supporting Israel right now, we are also working to continue to strengthen our impact locally. As we grow from strength to strength here at DJDS, it helps to ensure a continued vibrant Jewish community with a love of Israel in its heart. Please allow me to share just a few things that we are proud about. Recently, Prisma, the National Association of Jewish Day Schools, invited us to present to their board about our new teacher salary endowment. They are rightfully concerned, as are we, about the national teacher shortage. They were impressed with how DJDS is leading the way, finding new and creative ways to take care of our teachers. You've probably heard us talk about the importance of continuing to invest in our teachers. They are the heart of our school. Over the past few years, we have raised just under $5 million for our new teacher salary endowment to increase teacher salaries well beyond the typical salary increase. It is in place this year for the first time, enabling us to give our teachers a 9% salary increase. Plus, in addition to that, our teachers have taken on new roles in the school that improve the quality and depth of our educational program and enables them to earn additional income. It benefits our school, it benefits our teachers, and most importantly, it directly benefits our students. We have many other things to be proud of here at DJDS. Our enrollment continues to be up with our addition of a brand new pre-K program. We have kids graduating into top schools. We are implementing innovative teaching strategies and implementing innovation in our curriculum. We are upgrading our facilities. We are investing in our teachers' professional development, and much, much more. Other schools are connecting with us, and we are very happy to share with them. And they share with us as well. That's the value of connection. When we connect, we help to make things better for everyone. Denver JDS is a shining example of what can be accomplished when we are connected together, when we have a shared focus on the things that we can do to make the world a better place. Our commitment to Jewish values guides us. Our connection to Israel keeps us rooted in our heritage, and our philosophy of teaching and learning leads to a community that is constantly learning and improving. None of this is possible without each and every one of you. We are a strong team of students, families, teachers, administrators, and community members. Our connection puts us on an ambitious track to make our school stronger for both the present and the future. An African proverb wisely states, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We are going far. We continue to build a community that stands as a beacon of unity and understanding in a world that so desperately needs it. Our togetherness is really our secret sauce. It's so strong that our students refer to themselves as a mishpacha, as family. It allows us to navigate the present day and charts a course for a brighter future. Together, we are creating a ripple effect of change that benefits us and extends far beyond our campus. Let us continue leading the way together, connecting to Israel, embracing Jewish values, supporting our education, and supporting one another. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world, starting right here at DJDS. Thank you, and may our shared journey be one of strength, unity, and lasting impact. Am Yisrael Chai. I am now honored to introduce and call up Senior Mia Wexler.
Thank you, Mr. Hazel. Good morning. It is an honor to share my thoughts about DJDS with you. As a high school senior that has been going to Denver Jewish Day School since kindergarten, It seems that I'm uniquely positioned to share what I love about this school and how my experiences here can help me have an impact to be the change that the world needs. With almost 13 years of experience here, these are my 3 key DJDS differentiators. First, DJDS helps us find our Jewish identity and connect to our Jewish roots. In 8th grade, a class called Jewish Denver, taught by Chana Schweid, became a turning point in my understanding of what it means to be Jewish. We dove deep into Denver's Jewish history, spanning back to the 1800s. While sifting through this rich tapestry, I made a personal discovery. My maternal grandfather once led a local Jewish society dedicated to helping others. Remarkably, this very society was the setting where my paternal great-grandparents met upon their arrival in Denver. Recognizing this legacy of Tikkun Olam in my family right here in the Denver Jewish community was profound. It was a reminder of the power of doing good for others and laid a foundation for my ambition to make a positive impact. Classes like Jewish Ethical Philosophy, Tzedek Capstone, and Jewish American Comedy broadened my understanding of our religion and identity. It provided a sense of pride and purpose that extended beyond the classroom. This knowledge drives my involvement in Jewish organizations such as BBYO, Rose Youth Foundation, and the JCC. DJDS taught me our history and the importance of pride in our religion, and also how to translate that learning into impactful actions beyond the school walls. Second, DJDS truly champions our passions. Take last year as an example. Several of us were really into law and political science, but there wasn't an extracurricular club that fit our interests. We took the initiative and pitched the idea of a moot court club to Dr. GT. He immediately got on board, even helping us collaborate with a law student from CU. Through this, we immersed ourselves in mock trials, sharpening our argumentative and writing skills, as well as our social skills. This experience solidified my passion for law so much that I'm applying to colleges planning on majoring in political science. And there are so many similar stories. The new Wednesday schedule offers electives for everyone. A friend of mine into auto mechanics started a car club where we are fixing down a broken car. Hint, it's the one that's been sitting in our school parking lot for some time now. The cool thing is, no matter the interests, be it law, mechanics, movies, business, psychology, or tech, the DJDS faculty ensures we have a platform to explore, and they always back us up. Finally, and this gets talked about all the time because it is so true, the real gem of our DJDS community, DJDS is our community. This community, including you, a community I'm proud to be a part of now and forever. DJDS is a place where everyone roots for you, genuinely cares, and knows you personally. I still remember the thrill in middle school when older students greeted me by name or involved me in school activities. It showed me that we're one big family, regardless of age differences. My friends who go to public school can't relate to this at all, yet this amazing feeling and environment is what we experience here every day. Now, being in high school, I cherish every part of this tight-knit community, from sports to traditions. Playing volleyball and basketball isn't just about the game. It's about the camaraderie, the bus rides with blasting music, and the unparalleled team spirit. Each season, I'm amazed at how our bonds strengthen. Our school traditions, be it making pancakes for faculty or participating in Color War, are more than just events. They're about creating connections with each other, creating lasting memories, and celebrating our unique community. Reflecting on my time here, DJDS has been more than just a school. It's a place that has molded me, teaching me to be proud of my Jewish identity, to explore and chase new experiences, to value our traditions in our community, and to use my voice because it matters. My grandfather loved the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, in which Judy Garland sings, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. I am proud to say that DJDS has taught me to dream and has given me the skills to make my dreams come true. Thank you to the entire DJDS team for helping me become the person that I am today. And thanks to all of you for allowing me to share my thoughts. Please welcome our new Upper Division Principal, Dr. GT.
Thank you, Mia. I couldn't have said it better, but I'll try to say something, at least. When I started brainstorming topics for this speech, I swore to myself that I wouldn't talk about artificial intelligence. It seems like for months after the public release of ChatGPT last November, every other headline, blog post, op-ed, and podcast episode was about the coming AI revolution. My guess is that you've heard your fill from both the techno-optimists and the prophets of doom, all of whom are better informed than I am about the actual capabilities and tendencies of generative AI. What could I possibly add to all the chatter about the chatbots? And yet, I can't help but feel that the strand of the conversation that interests me most, the speculation on how AI will or could or should transform education, is missing something. For the past year, I've been reading about how schools will have to prepare their students for a future in which many of the tasks we're teaching them to do now, including research and writing and even many forms of creative expression and design, will be fully or partially automated. The way forward, according to the conventional wisdom, will be for teachers and students alike to become competent users of these new tools, securing their places in a world where most work will involve some form of collaboration with the robots. There's also a related suggestion that we should refocus our educational efforts on cultivating those softest of skills, the capacity for empathy and interpersonal connection that seem least likely to be outsourced to machines. To be clear, I don't disagree with any of that. The view that education should incorporate AI and at the same time focus on developing our uniquely human capabilities is reasonable enough. But as I said, something has started to feel just a little off to me about the conventional wisdom on education and AI, and I wanted to explore that feeling with you all. Here's what I think is the problem. Most of what we read and hear about AI in schools assumes that the purpose of education is to equip students to be productive members of the future workforce. That assumption reflects the broader tendency of our modern secular society to view education primarily as an engine of productivity and economic competitiveness. And look, I get it. I'm as worried about my kid's economic future as the next parent. And yet, I'm sure we can all agree that education does so much more for a human being than build marketable competencies. While educators may tout the value of the liberal arts as versatile preparation for any job, the truth is that the classical liberal arts curriculum was not designed for career readiness. It was meant to foster something more like spiritual growth and fulfillment. As heirs to the millennia-old tradition of Jewish education, we here at DJDS ought to be especially attuned to the more spiritual purposes of study. For at least 2,000 years, Jews from all walks of life, farmers and merchants and doctors and lawyers, metal workers and tailors and cobblers and carpenters, have dedicated as much time as they could to Talmud Torah, the study of our most ancient teachings in all their legal, ethical, and aesthetic splendor. And why did they do this? Certainly not for the sake of economic competitiveness, though of course there's an argument that Talmudic study sharpens critical thinking, collaboration, and other so-called 21st century skills. Rather, the rabbis' preferred justification for the value of Torah study was simply Torah lishma, study for its own sake. Now, what it means to learn for the sake of learning is itself the subject of much study and commentary. But the concept isn't so far-fetched. There are many, many human activities that we do for their own sake. Just to name a few off the top of my head, there's stargazing, singing and dancing, watching football games, reading murder mysteries, playing Wordle, or, if you're a certain DJDS kindergartner who lives with me, collecting Hot Wheels cars. These activities do a lot of different things for us. They exercise our minds, delight our senses, connect us socially, and help us procrastinate our real work. But fundamentally, these are all pastimes, worthwhile in their own right and not as a means of accomplishing something else. So the rabbis placed study in this category of activities that we do just because they lift our spirits. But does learning really have that effect on us, or are the rabbis kidding themselves? On one hand, cognitive scientists tell us what feels like common sense. Nobody likes to study. And we don't like to study for a simple reason. Study involves thinking, and thinking is slow, painful, and laborious. That's why our brains, according to the scientists, are designed to avoid thinking whenever possible. And yet, we also seem to be wired to feel a thrill at the accumulation of new knowledge and insight, even and especially if it takes some mental effort to get there. In fact, the gravitational pull of knowledge on our species is so strong that children will often delight in absorbing as much information as they possibly can about phenomena like dinosaurs and space that they will never experience directly. The philosopher Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel conjured images of this childlike interest in the world when he wrote that our goal should be to live life in radical amazement. To be spiritual is to be amazed. I wasn't familiar with that Heschel quote until Andrew Zimmerman, class of 2023, delivered a lovely commencement speech last year about how he'd learned to live life in radical amazement at Denver Jewish Day School. It was striking to hear those words come out of the mouth of an 18-year-old. There is this stereotype of adolescence as a time when we begin to lose our ability to feel amazed by how amazing everything is. One thing educators hear a lot is that to interest teenagers, you have to make the material practically relevant to their experiences, concerns, and goals. Dinosaurs in space? That's little kid stuff. According to the stereotype, if you start waxing poetic to a teenager about love of learning and learning for its own sake, you're liable to get that adolescent eye roll. And yes, I've seen my share of rolled eyes. I've heard my fair share of students protest that their lessons in history or math or Judaics or any other subject aren't relevant because they'll never use any of it. And yet, I also have the privilege of watching teenagers become radically amazed by the world, enchanted by new knowledge and insight that has little practical relevance to them every single day. Let me tell you about some of them. Consider the enthusiastic group of students in Joel Rosansky's woodworking classes, part of our new Wednesday program. Is woodworking a practically relevant skill? Maybe, in that it produces something of tangible value. But as far as I know, our novice woodworkers have no conscious interest in careers as carpenters, and mass-produced versions of the articles of furniture they're working on are readily and cheaply available at IKEA. So I don't think these students are so taken by the practical benefits of the shop class. Rather, these students are eager to study and practice woodworking lishma for its own sake, out of a kind of amazement at what their own hands and simple tools can fashion. Then there are my moot court students, including Mia, who we just heard from. The moot court kids choose to spend one of their precious Wednesday elective periods and much, much more of their free time fine-tuning legal arguments in a hypothetical case. Even though there are no grades to motivate them, and most of them will never receive a tangible reward for their efforts, and many of them don't even want to be lawyers, they nonetheless read and write and revise and practice with an intensity and diligence that can only be explained by an actual enjoyment of the craft they're learning. Okay, but what about the core academic classes, like history? You could certainly forgive students for thinking that what I teach about, the past, is not so practically relevant. Yet my students and I find in the treasure trove of the past no shortage of radically amazing stuff. Bloopers and triumphs, mysteries and patterns, worlds that are at once completely foreign and oddly familiar, drama that's made for Netflix and HBO. Students will sometimes get really into an episode that is full of moral ambiguity, like the story of a young Roman senator named Brutus, who just about literally stabbed his mentor, Julius Caesar, in the back. When students argue over whether Brutus is a hero or a villain, they may or may not find the question particularly relevant to dilemmas they might face in their own lives. For the most part, they just find these long-dead Romans somehow interesting. Here's another thing students seem to find interesting against all odds: the study of etymology, or word roots. You should see the look on their faces when you point out that the word moon shows up in other words, like month and Monday, or when you explain that we call athletic shoes sneakers because their rubber soles make much less noise than the clickety-clack of leather-soled dress shoes, or when you point out that the root of the word patience is the Latin word for suffering, which explains why patient refers both to someone under a doctor's care and to someone who is waiting forever to see the doctor. By the way, the word passion, comes from the same Latin root. So a passionate Broncos fan, etymologically speaking, is someone who suffers for their devotion to the Broncos. Seeing these hidden connections among different words and languages isn't a practical necessity of life. You can get by in whatever languages you speak quite well without noticing all those etymological tendrils. And to be fair, not everyone finds word roots as radically amazing as I do. Yet I've been surprised over the years by the number of middle and high schoolers who have discovered and embraced their inner word nerd and been happier for it. Which brings me back to AI. Suppose we think about education primarily as a means of making nerds of us all. Word nerds and history nerds and woodworking nerds and math nerds, fantasy football nerds and theater nerds and Talmud nerds and so on. If that's our primary purpose, then the AI revolution may not be so disruptive to education after all. Because whatever the robots might do for us, with us, or to us, our happiness will still depend on the breadth and depth of our interests, and we will still depend on education to develop those interests. I like to think that AI could play a role, as previous technologies have played a role, from books to the internet, in helping us geek out. But one way or another, I can promise you that Denver Jewish Day School will educate our kids in the tradition of Torah Lishma, study that lifts our spirits by nourishing our inner nerd. Let me make that concrete. Our school's goal must be to send our students home each day feeling more interested in the world than they were when they walked in. That is the standard you all should hold us to. And that is the sort of education you are making possible when you support this school. For all your support, moral and financial, I thank you.
That's good. Wow. Thank you, Mia and Dr. GT, for your amazing words. We are always so inspired when we hear from you and any of our accomplished students. My name is Sarah Raffaeli. I'm a DJDS parent, alum, and current member of the Board of Trustees. And a huge thank you once again to everyone who made this possible, to the amazing staff who put this event together, the faculty and staff who keep our kids thriving and safe every day. Thank you to my co-chair, Rachel, and thank you, table captains, for bringing us this amazing crowd, and to all of you for being here today and giving us 1 hour of your morning, allowing us to be in community together. In many of our DJDS classes, students can earn weekly points called dojos. These are for behaviors and actions that teachers want to reward, for keeping their desk clean, helping without being asked, being a good classroom citizen, essentially being a mensch. A few years ago when my son Max was in 4th grade, he got the highest number of dojos one week, and he earned the coveted spot on the couch where he could sit while the rest of the classroom sat on the floor during their morning meeting. Another time he came home and he shared that he won that week, so he was able to choose between 30 minutes on the Chromebook to play games, or he could have lunch with his teacher. So when I asked him what he picked, he looked at me like I was asking him, did you choose candy or Brussels sprouts? Of course I chose to have lunch with my teacher, he said. He loved his teacher, and he couldn't wait to have 30 minutes of time with him all to himself. Max could ask questions, tell silly jokes, challenge him to trivia that he was hoping would stump his 4th grade teacher. You see, the teachers at this school, they don't just teach, they educate, they interact. They build connections and relationships with our kids that nurture a love of learning that will shape them forever. They help mold our kids into strong members and contributors of society, not just here at school, but in whatever communities they choose to be a part of when they leave these halls. We just heard an example of that direct benefit of Mia's relationship with her DJDS teachers, and soon she'll head out beyond our campus to have an even greater impact in the world. She's just one shining example of how DJDS teachers impact our students. Denver Jewish Day School offers Jewish knowledge and global understanding, world-class learning, and world-changing behavior, challenging academics and a nurturing community. We do all of this by embodying the Divrei Chaim, words to live by, and Midot, the Jewish values through which we all strive to raise our children. You see, we truly have it all here, but the only way to attract these amazing teachers and sustain the incredible academic programs that we work so hard to build each year is through additional support from our community. Teaching our kids is really hard work, and providing this incredible rigorous academic program filled with electives, STEM, innovation, sports, and hands-on opportunities, all with Judaism interwoven between almost everything we do, it's costly. Only 75% of the school's annual budget is raised from tuition each year. This Chai Five Club helps fill a large portion of the necessary funds needed, not just to keep our schools strong, but to make it thrive. Essentially, everyone in this room has the opportunity to sustain the ongoing foundation created to meet the needs of our students and our school for many years to come. Thanks to this incredible giving society, we start each year in the black, giving our administration the comfort knowing that they have our support to operate, plan, and continuously improve. So Dr. GT recently shared with me that the word philanthropy comes from two Greek roots, philo and anthropos. Philo means love, as in philosophy and the love of wisdom. Anthropos means human, as in anthropology and the study of humanity. So if you put it together, philanthropy means love of humanity. Using this teaching, we invite you to show your love by helping us secure the next 5 years of the Chai Five Club by giving generously today. Each one of you has a pledge card at your table, and your table captain will hand it out in a few minutes. Many of you are already Chai Five Club members, and we are so grateful for your continued support. If you're in the middle of a 5-year cycle, can you go up a little? Can you give a one-time gift of something more? We all know that every gift counts, but I can't stress enough how absolutely true that is. Every single gift supports our students' future and the possibilities that they can bring to our world. And each contribution is a vital piece of that puzzle, bringing us closer to the complete picture of our children's enriched education. If you can't manage one of the giving levels, give what you can. We are so grateful for anything you can do to help us achieve our goal of over $530,000 this year. This helps us pay our teachers, gain access to top-notch educational curriculum, and provide necessary security for our campus. We hope that everyone will stretch just a little bit to give the things that matter to sustain our Jewish life here. We need a stable community. We need some stability in this world, and that all starts by supporting and educating our kids here, so that they can go out into the world feeling strong about their identity and capable of contributing to society and improving our world. Last week at Choices, Ari Shapiro shared that history is important, but it does not dictate our future. We dictate our future. Each and every one of us in this room can affect the future of the students at DJDS today and can play our part to secure their future. So just before your cards are handed out, we're almost there. Let me tell you a little bit about the Colorado Child Care Contribution Credit. This is unique to Colorado residents, and it's a game changer. The credit is essentially a 50% rebate from Colorado on any gift above $2,500. Your out-of-pocket is literally cut in half, regardless of if you itemize or not. What's more is you can still deduct the other half of that gift from your federal and state taxes. So imagine, a gift of $25,000 could cost you less than $8,000. A gift of $10,000 would cost around $3,000, and a gift of $2,500 could actually cost you less than $800. This is beyond incredible, and your impact could be enormous. Of course, consult your tax professional and take a look at the placards on your table if you have for more information. So table captains, can you please hand out the pledge cards if you haven't already done so? Mom, if you can do my table. Please fill out your pledge cards as generously as you can and hand them back to your table captains when you're finished. give you a few more minutes just to fill out your credit card information. And you guys can hand your finished pledge cards back to your table captain. So feel free to stick around and schmooze in the back of the gym, where we have organized additional coffee and food as a small token of our appreciation for your time and your support of the school. Thank you again for being here and for helping secure the future of Denver Jewish Day School. We really appreciate you all.